It is a quiet Saturday in midsummer London when suddenly a piece of news shakes the world. News so heavy that it seems to stop time for a moment. Amy Winehouse, the woman with a voice that sounded as if it carried decades of pain and longing, is gone. 27 years old. A life full of music, fractures, intensity, and now, silence. No flashing cameras, no dramatic collapse on the street. Just an unremarkable house in Camden, a ringing phone no one answers anymore, and an emptiness spreading like smoke, reaching everyone her voice ever touched. But to understand what really happened that day, we have to go back, not just to these final 24 hours, but into the soul of an artist who put her truth into every word she sang. Amy Winehouse, more than fame, more than a name. She embodied pain, talent, love, anger, and fragile strength all at once. Amy was never just the girl with the eyeliner or the scandal. She was a sound from another era, smoky, warm, vintage, and yet radically modern. While other teenagers in North London still searched for who they were, Amy already knew where she belonged, in the world of jazz and soul, where melodies revealed truths words alone rarely said. As a child, she disappeared into her parents' record collection. She listened to Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, Donny Hathaway, and somewhere between the crackling notes, she discovered her own voice, a voice that never pretended to be smooth. When Amy sang, it wasn't a performance, it was a confession. She wrote lyrics early on, lines that read like secret diary entries, raw, unfiltered, sometimes defiant, sometimes tender. That's what made her an outsider in a pop world obsessed with perfection. Amy didn't want a perfect world. She wanted a real one. Then came the album that would make her a legend, Back to Black. Not just a piece of work, but a mirror of her soul. Every line pulsed like a heartbeat. Every melody felt like an open admission. And when she stood on the Grammy stage via satellite, a few years later, taking home 5 awards, the moment felt surreal. Like success celebrated her, but never protected her. Because the higher Amy rose, the louder the pressure grew. While the world praised her honesty, a quiet battle was growing inside her. Fame meant glory to many, but to her, it became a cage of cameras, headlines, and expectations no one could meet. Reporters camped outside her home, capturing every tremble, every misstep, turning them into stories louder than her music. But those who truly knew Amy saw another side. A woman with sharp humour who could light up a room in seconds. A friend who preferred buying others a drink rather than discussing her own troubles. A person who, in clear phases, worked with discipline, wrote with focus, and hoped that this time the balance would last. Yet the struggle with alcohol, internal conflict, and a runaway public image took its toll. Her songs became mirrors, and mirrors can be merciless. Every line a truth, so naked it made her vulnerable. But that honesty was her gift to the world. Rawness no one could imitate. Friends remembered days when she blossomed, played records, cooked, laughed, walked through London with lightness. Days full of hope. And beside them stood moments when the ground gave way beneath her feet. Success and collapse, 2 sides of the same melody. And so slowly, almost imperceptibly, the final 24 hours of her life approached. It is the evening before that fateful Saturday. Just an ordinary Friday in Camden. Quiet, almost peaceful. Amy spends a few hours with her mother, a brief visit that feels like part of a normal routine. Nothing suggests how close the end truly is. Later, she sits with her security guard Andrew Morris in the living room. They watch old videos of early concerts, laugh, talk about past performances, listen to music, as if taking a small trip back to a time when everything was new, lighter. The evening feels gentle. Around 2 in the morning, Amy says, tired, "I'm going to bed." A sentence so ordinary that no one thinks twice about it. It wasn't unusual for her to go to bed at that hour. Nothing in this night hinted at the invisible line she had just crossed. The apartment sinks into silence. Outside, the London nightlife fades, while Amy disappears behind closed curtains. A small, quiet moment that would later echo around the world. Saturday begins without excitement. A warm July morning settles over Camden, the streets busy with taxis, people, voices. Inside, it is still. Around 10, Andrew Morris checks on Amy. She's lying in bed, calm, like someone who stayed up late and is now deeply asleep. Nothing seems wrong. The curtains are drawn, the light muted. Morris lets her rest. After all, she had many nights lately that stretched far past dawn. Hours pass. People come and go quietly. Her phone lies untouched on the table, as if resting too. It is not until the afternoon, when Morris checks again, that something feels off. She lies exactly as before. Too exactly. He calls her name. No reaction. He touches her shoulder. Nothing. His heartbeat quickens. He searches for her pulse. Nothing. A moment that spreads cold through the room. Seconds that feel endless. Then he grabs the phone and calls emergency services. An alarm that moves quickly through London's systems toward Camden Square. Shortly before late afternoon, paramedics and police rush into the house. Minutes later, certainty fills the air. Heavy, unavoidable, final. Amy Winehouse is dead. 27 years old. A voice that poured its wounds into melodies, and a woman who, in her quietest moments, simply wanted peace. Later, the investigation reveals no hard drugs involved. It was alcohol, too much after a period of abstinence. A tragic, unintended end. A farewell without spectacle, quiet and sudden. By evening, people from all over the world gather outside her home. Strangers who felt understood by her music. Candles burn, flowers pile up, and someone softly sings Back to Black. A whispered thank you to a woman who had given so much. But Amy's story does not end that Saturday. To understand her, you must remember the woman who didn't seek perfection, but truth. Her lyrics were open letters. In the studio, she never chased flawless takes, only real moments. That is why her music lives on. She also carried a life whose brighter moments the public rarely saw. The humour, the clear days, the small victories. Success and vulnerability side by side. As the news spreads, artists, neighbours, and millions of fans mourn. Camden becomes a spontaneous memorial. Her family creates a foundation to support young people struggling with addiction. A light growing from her loss. Anyone who later steps into her room in Camden, records stacked, a microphone on its stand, a guitar resting nearby, can see the traces of a heart that beat for music. Friends remember her as loyal, warm, caring. A woman who called even the pizza delivery man darling, and who preferred talking about songs rather than herself. And maybe that is the final thought. Tragedies aren't always loud. Sometimes they are a quiet moment no one recognizes as the last. Yet Amy Winehouse does not fall silent. Every time a needle touches one of her records, she returns, with all her honesty, her pain, and her power, a voice that remains.